Good evening. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Tonight's topic is a request from a loyal subscriber of mine. His name is Barbaric, ASP 334. And what he wants to know is, starting off first, he wants to start a tech company. Now, I don't know if it is going to be involving computers or manufacturing, so I'm going to say it's computers. And he and his professor were talking, and he decided, well, he wants to save up money for a year, but he's also asking me, is it better or does it make more sense to save up money for 5 to 10 years? And he's looking at putting his business in the city of Detroit, which has a 31% unemployment rate. And he's asking me, what happened to Detroit? Why is it in shambles? First of all, I like the fact that you are starting a tech company, particularly as an African American, because most of us in the community, we do have some businesses, a lot of barber shops, hair salons, but we need to get into the area of technology and engineering and lawyers and doctors. I like that. Now, you were talking to your professor, and he mentioned that you should save up enough money for a year. I like that strategy. But how much are you going to save up in a year? Because remember, you have to be able to live. I don't know whether you're living at home or your parents. Now, if you're going to college, right now is a perfect time to save up that money and more money. But you have to remember, once you get that degree and you move out of the nest, you're going to have responsibilities. So, does it make more sense to save up 5 to 10 years? Well, that's even better because you're going to have more money to utilize as capital. Not only that, you get a chance for more experience. See, what individuals have to understand when you start any business, you need experience because once you start to manage people, you have to know about the organization yourself before you can delegate authorities. So, that being said, not only do you need to understand organizations, but as in the restaurant business is concerned, you're talking about Detroit. I'm going to say it 3 times for you. Location, location, location. Putting your business in the right location so you can attract traffic is going to bring you business. Now, as far as putting your business in the city of Detroit, it depends where in Detroit. If you're putting it downtown, that could be good. Other than that, I wouldn't put it in Detroit at all. 31% unemployment rate, that's a scary number. So, with that being stated, what do you have that's involved with that number? Usually when you have a high unemployment rate, you have a high poverty rate, there's a high crime rate. And what happens? Your city is deteriorating. The infrastructure is bad. So when you put your business in that type of climate, you're not going to attract the right people to work for you. You're talking about building a tech company, so you want professionals to work for you. I'm not saying that downtown Detroit is a bad place. But I'm saying the way Detroit is now, it's been in shambles, and it's going to always be in shambles until they get the right politicians to run the city. And that goes for all of your big cities in the country. Now, you have cities like New York, Chicago. They've all been run by Democratic politicians. However, New York and Chicago have a large financial sector. LA has a large entertainment sector. But when it comes to Detroit, you have to look at it. Detroit was a haven for car manufacturing, and what happened to the car manufacturers? They all left. So when they left, the plants up in Flint left, and if you look at all the cities around Detroit, they're all impoverished. Detroit is still Motown. I'm not saying that the city cannot be revived. It can. But looking at the city now, that's not the place you want to put your business. So you need to reconsider. But when it comes to Detroit being in shambles, well, why is it in shambles? Well, again, people have begun to move out. At one time, Detroit had over 1 million people. When this was the 50s and 60s, it's when everything was going strong in Detroit. Now Detroit has a population of just under 700,000 people. So when almost half the people have left the city over the last 45 to 50 years, take a look at those numbers, and that should tell you why you should not put your business in the city of Detroit. Because it's been poor, and it's always going to be poor, again, until we get the right people who want to come in and actually invest money in the city with some infrastructure. Certainly, you had 2 new stadiums, Comerica Park and Ford Field, that were built for the Detroit Tigers and the Detroit Lions. But other than that, nice looking downtown. Detroit is a city. In fact, Detroit had been bankrupt. It's another thing you may have not known. But other than that, I like the idea that you want to start a tech company. We need young black men and black women who want to get involved in science, technology, engineering, and math. Heck, we need young black men and black women who want to get involved in entrepreneurship, period. Whether it is a barber shop, a tattoo parlor, or restaurant. The more businesses and media that we can create, we can have our own economy. So remember, you are making the right decisions by saving money. Get the experience, however. Make sure you have your resume, because when you start a business and you want to get capital, you're going to have some potential investors that want to see your resume. Your resume is going to tell them that you are qualified to do what you say you're going to do. Along with your resume, getting the experience. How do you do it when you're in school? College work study. Internships. And this is what college students don't do. It's great to party when you first get there, but you got to buckle down. Because college is 4 to 6 years. It's a lot of money you're investing into a program. So take this time while you're in college. If you're living at home, save up some money. Because when you get out in the real world and you don't have the best job, it's going to be very difficult for you to get your venture off the ground. But other than that, your strategy, your decision making is the way to go. First of all, saving money. That way, when you start saving money, you really don't have to go to a bank to borrow any money. And if it's a computer tech company, then the only machinery or equipment that you need is a computer, and you can start off as a sole proprietorship by incorporating into an LLC, and you could start contracting on the side. That's another way to get experience. But learn the functions of an organization before you start a business, because you have to understand, in order for your business to grow, you need to understand the functions of human resources. Of course, if you're in the computers, you understand that. You need to understand procurement and purchasing, accounting, marketing, because you have to stay on top of the world. And that's another thing with tech company. You're going to have to constantly keep your education updated, because technology is constantly changing. The iPhone 7 could be out tomorrow, and 6 months down the road, it's out of date. And that is what you need to know in the tech company. Very fast moving. If the pace is too fast for you, you don't want to do tech. But what you're giving me is the information, and your heart is into doing tech. Put something down on paper, because you're going to need a starting point. Get experience, save your money. And I like the idea that you start off utilizing a year, because saving money requires discipline and commitment. 5 to 10 years is even better, because you will have more capital to build a bigger establishment and the discipline. But you have to do that while you're in school, because once the responsibilities come about, it's going to be difficult to save that kind of money. But at the end of the day, I like that you have a goal and a mission to start a tech company. And that's it for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show for today, Monday, January 9th, 2017. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone radio show every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. I didn't have a show tonight because I had other engagements, but I am going to try to run the show next week. I will put out the topic. So you can find all of my archive shows by clicking on the link to my Blog Talk Radio show under all of my videos. The guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. Now, if you like my videos, please share and subscribe to the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube, so I can continue to give you the quality information for educational purposes from a professional and mature perspective. Now, on this channel, I deal with dialogue, so I'm not much into debating or controversial issues or even the social issues. There are plenty of other channels that do that. What I do here is give you the tools so you can apply real-world education to help you make decisions so you will live a better life. Not that you're not going to make mistakes, but it's to minimize mistakes, because I'm giving you my experience and the mistakes that I made so you won't make the same mistakes. Keep everything realistic but positive on this channel. Remember, knowledge is power. If you have a business or a topic that you would like for me to talk about on the 401 Talk Zone Radio Show YouTube or Blog Talk Radio Show, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. And if you have a comment, please leave it in the comment section under the video. But make sure that your comments are pithy, No bloviating or pettifogging or filibustering, if you wish to opine. That's it for this video. My name is Leon Jones. Till next time, remember, please be gentle and respectful to each other and have a wonderful and blessed evening. Good night.